Hi everyone, hitting the road in your campervan, caravan, or motorhome, whichever one you have, whether you're going out full time or just heading off for a weekend. Safety essentials are a must for everybody, regardless of what leisure vehicle you have. So today we're going to share some of our tips for safety essentials. This is another Vanother Collective collaboration vlog, and as usual, I will put somewhere all the logos and all the other channel links will be in the description down below. So don't forget, go across, check out all the other channels. They'll all have different ideas to what we have. I am curious this time as to who's going to have what and where we're going to cross over and who's going to have the best ideas, different ideas, all that sort of thing. So yeah, the collaboration, for those who haven't watched before, is a group of motorhomers, caravanners, and campervanners who share the love of being away from home in their leisure vehicles. And we all get together once a month and we do a vlog on a certain subject. And as I say, this month it's safety essentials. So let's get started on this month's vlog. Oh, and you will realise Andy's not with me this weekend when I'm filming this because I've left him busy doing other jobs while I'm doing the filming. Our first tip relates to fire safety. All of us will have seen at one time or another fires that have happened on campsites. And a lot of these come from people that don't unroll their electric hookups. Electrical cable, when it's plugged in, carries a lot of heat. And if you leave your cable wound up on a reel or whichever way, then that heat intensifies and starts to melt the wiring. So I think the biggest tip for anybody who has a leisure vehicle is always ensure that you fully uncoil your electrical cable when you're plugged up into the electrics. It's not only your van you're saving by doing this, but the ones around you. If you go on any of the caravan and motorhome club sites, so many of them will have pictures up on the back of the toilet doors. You'll see that where there's been pictures where there's been fires, and it's destroyed not just the van on the pitch, but the vans on either side of them as well. Hence why now there's this big gap between vans on sites. And that's another point is I wouldn't go on a site that doesn't have a decent amount of gap between them because you've got to look after yourself. You can't expect the man next door to look after you, and they don't always do what they're supposed to do. So I'm very cautious of these things. I like plenty of space when I'm on site. On that same subject, you should always carry a fire extinguisher. I know they don't last very long, but to have that is better than to have nothing. And another thing we have in the camper, as you know, we don't have any gas or electric in our camper, so the chances of fire are a lot slimmer. But we do have an independent hookup that we use when we're on site. But we do have, and I'm just going to turn this camera around a little bit because you'll see it on the wall here. So just there, we have our fire blanket. Now, this were a fiver off Amazon. It's nothing. And it helps save. If we had a fire, we cook outside a lot, like a lot of people do in the summer. And I can just hung up this and put it outside with us. So if a pan caught fire, I can just throw the blanket over it and stop the fire from spreading anywhere else. It's an absolute godsend. And for the sake of a fiver, what can you get for a fiver these days? That is probably one of our number one safety essentials to have in any van. And as I've already mentioned, having a fire extinguisher, I'll put a picture of ours up here. It's not in the camper at the minute, it's in the shed because we haven't been out in the camper for a while. So I'll dig that out and put a picture of it up here. So fire safety is an absolute must. Things that you might not think of as a safety essential. A first aid kit. You should always carry an adequate first aid kit. It should have bandages in, it should have antiseptic wipes, personal medication, painkillers. You know, it's basic stuff. And again, it costs next to nothing. So we have in our camper van, I'm just going to lean up here, a little box. These are all takeaway boxes, really good. And we have numerous medication in here that we take. So I keep extras as well as our first aid bag, which has bandages, like I say, antiseptic wipes, and also possibly an eye wash is always worth carrying as well. You do have to watch the expiry dates on eye washes because they do expire. But just simple eye washes, if you get something in your eye, you can just rinse it out. Really quick and simple. Next, actual security of the van. So obviously on the caravan we have a hitch lock, and we also have leg locks on the caravan, which helps keep that secure. It's kept on a secure storage. It doesn't come much more secure than our storage. And to say we have an absolute fantastic storage facility. The people that own it are fantastic. We never have an issue with them. We've got lots of space either side of us on the storage, as well as front to back. And they have a security system that monitors everybody going in and going out. He knows if you do the gate wrong, because there's a lot of people do the gate wrong, and you have to wait until the gate is fully closed before you move away from it as well, to stop anybody coming in. If you get stuck, he can actually see you. You can ring them. It is the most fantastic storage. We actually left this storage once, and we were only away for a year. For the year we weren't using it, and then we went back because we cannot find another storage for the money we pay, with the level of security we've got and the access we've got, the times that we can go in. And they are so helpful. I have had problems with the gate once or twice getting in and out, and the guy has actually phoned me. He said, "Are you having trouble with the gate?" And it's like, he's seen me, he knows what's going on, he gets a notification every time somebody comes and goes. And people think that's a little bit too much, but to be fair, it's looking after your leisure vehicle. And the more he sees, for me, the better it is. So, yeah, on the camper, because the camper's now my everyday vehicle, having sold my car, we decided, well, originally the camper was always bought to replace my car. So I finally got round to selling the car. The car is being picked up this week, and we keep the camper at home. So we have certain bits of security. We always double lock the lock, because then if anybody breaks in, they can't open the doors from the inside. We have our wheel lock, and somewhere, and I can't remember, there, it flashes, if you can see that. It flashes, so it makes people aware that it's there. Also know you've got it on, so we'll just turn that off again. But that's a useful bit of kit. It takes a few seconds to put it on. I go to work in this camper van now, and every time I land on the car park at work, the lock goes on, just for my own peace of mind. I know there's a lot of people moving around at work, and the van will be seen, but I do know of people that have had cars stolen off company car parks, so the lock always goes on as soon as I arrive on a morning, and take it off when I leave. So that, about £30 worth, well worth having. So, other emergency tools that you might need. Just always keep a screwdriver, some pliers, some wrenches, whatever. It's always worth having a little tool bag with you, because you never know when you might need something. And this one here, this is a little torch, and it just sits up on the shelf on the camper, and it's handy if you just need to get into a small space with a bit of light. So torches, basic tools, spanners, adjustable spanners, whatever. I like an adjustable spanner, and we do have one in here somewhere. I'm not sure where it is at the minute, but I do have one. Oh, I think it's in one of the boxes at the back, actually, with my other tools. And it's always worth having these, because, as I say, you never know when you might need to repair something. Again, you might think your navigation system isn't a safety essential, but really it is. At the end of the day, that's going to keep you safe, particularly when you're towing a caravan, because for us, our sat nav is a caravan motorhome type sat nav, where you put your dimensions in, and it sets you, and it won't take you down routes that you can't fit. Not too bad in the camper because it's not much bigger than driving around in a car, really. But we have, this is our sat nav. Don't know where it's just gone. And you get the map view on, and we have it at the moment. It's set on the camper because I use it in the camper more than anything at the minute. But when we're going the caravan, we set this up. This one's a Garmin, really, really good. I would recommend Garmin. It's been fantastic. And we've had this about 4 or 5 years now, and you can update the maps on it every year. So it's always kept up to date with road changes, etc., etc. But if you find yourself down a small lane, particularly with a caravan, it's not so easy to get out of unless you're really good at reversing with a caravan. And neither I nor Andy are any good at reversing with a caravan on the back. So the sat nav is an absolute essential for us to keep us safe on the road. It also advises us when there's roadworks, so you don't get stuck in roadworks. You can go around and avoid them. But yeah, sat navs are definitely a safety essential to keep you safe on the road. Another essential we found that is really useful when you're travelling is a power bank, because you can charge things up with it while you're travelling. We have a Jackery 1000, which works an absolute treat for us. It's never let us down. And to be fair, it's sat in the van now because I've got everything plugged into it while I'm talking to you. I've got my laptop here with my notes on, so I know what I'm talking about. I know that doesn't happen often, but I have got my notes today. So the Jackery is sat on the floor, and I'm just going to swing this around and show you. So just bear with me a tick. So just down here, this is our Jackery. And again, this is an absolute godsend, as I've already said. I'm running the sat nav off so I could show you that. I'm running the laptop off it, and it's hardly using any power. So I think our last safety essential we would say is making sure you're prepared for bad weather. If you break down and it's cold and you can't have heating on for whatever reason, maybe something's failed and you can't get your heating on. So having warm coats and blankets. I always have this blanket, one I made myself, by the way. I always have this in the van, and I normally bring another blanket with me as well when we're travelling, so that we have one each. And as much as anything, if it's chilly on a night, you can just put it over your knee. We always keep raincoats, and in the winter, we always have our winter coats with us, but we always keep something in the van in case we break down and we have to, say, if we're on the motorway, we have to go sit on the hillside on the hard shoulder, wherever it is. And you need to keep warm while you're waiting for your recovery people to come and sort things out for you. So, good warm coats, hats, gloves, jumpers, all that sort of thing, again, is a must have safety essential in your van. So there you have it. Them's our safety essential tips for this month's collaboration vlog. Let us know in the comments what your ideas are. What do you keep in your van to keep you safe while you're travelling, when you're on site, or when you're just parked up somewhere? Let us know what you do. It may give us some ideas of things we also need to do. But for the collaboration vlog this month, that is it. Don't forget, go down into the description below, watch all the other channels' videos, see what tips they've got. And from me, for now, with no Abby and no Andy, it's getting a bit lonely in here. So I'll see you next time. Bye for now.